Hello, welcome to Hikate's Crossing. Okay, so we're going to do the week ahead reading for from the 24th of September. So we're going to use the magical Nordic tarot, the Yggdrasil oracle, and runes. So let's have a look and see what actually. I'm going to do the rune card first. What rune card are we going to focus on? Feels like I need to sort of focus on a theme or a message from the runes. Let's have a look. What have I got? Okay, we've got Laguz, which is translation of water. So it feels like there's going to be some sort of travel. Could be some sort of travel going on. Can talk about using your intuition is really important here. Maybe so let's have a look. We want to get a little bit more here. So we're looking about, I do feel it's about trusting your intuition as things sort of move forward in your life. So there's definitely some sort of, might not be all traveling across water. We're not all journeying across water or near water or something like that. But there is that sense of trusting your intuition. So maybe that water is connected to your intuition, your emotional feelings, sense of your creativity, things moving forward into the unknown. So I do feel like there's a second card coming out here. Let's do this. Okay, second card here is Teresa's, which is Thorn, and this is about being protective, barrier, pride, and self-deception, destruction, rebirth, inner truth, and false ego. So here we've got the sense about, okay, so using your intuition to know when you're protected. I think there's a lot about barriers in here. So I think it's very important about trusting your intuition when it comes to the barriers, to having those boundaries are really important here. So trust your intuition in creating boundaries for where you want to be. And that's going to take a little bit of determination, a little bit of strength, maybe a little bit of courage to make the changes, to sort of initiation, to be able to move forward on your journey, to meet one's destiny. So with Uruz, so when we're looking at these three cards together here, I get the sense of knowing you're protected. Okay, know you're protected when you create the boundaries that you want, so that you're protected in creating the boundaries. It's really important to be able to have that balance in your life, to say no. And so it's going to take a bit of strength or a bit of courage to be able to do that. Maybe you're sort of struggling with the ability to sort of say no, to create the boundaries that you need. You're struggling with that. So that's this week's theme, is in actually saying no. Say no. So let's have a look and see which deity is going to help you in that journey. Okay, who's going to help us on this journey here? Let's have a look. This one here is sticking out. So who have I got? The rule of three. Okay, with the informed decision. With the rule of three, it feels like you've got that sense of being able to get all the information that you need to make that decision, to make those boundaries. I feel like you've got the information. Now it's important that you implement it. You create those boundaries that are very important to you, so you're able to do what you need to do. To self-care could be really important here. So it does feel like it's about getting all the information you need. And I do feel like you've got the information. Now you've just got to implement it. So how do you take action this week? How do you take action to create the boundaries, to make sure that you stay protected, that you're able to say no? I think that's super important here. What was that last card here? Oh yes, about having the courage, the strength to do so. And I think that can be quite tricky sometimes. Okay, so let's have a look and see what the cards have to say for the week ahead. Okay, I've got 5, Right, okay, so let's have a look. What have we got? So first card we've got is the Six of Cups. So I do think it comes from our own experiences, our memories of the past. I think it comes from our experiences of the past, I think is super important here. Being able to know that things can move in the right direction, our wish fulfilled. It does feel like things have got good fortune, things are moving in the right direction. It's all about the hope, so it's all about what are you focusing on. I think that's very important. It's very emotional. It's an emotional week, which is interesting here. And then we've got the Knight of Wands with that sense of be careful not to be too impulsive. I think there could be a bit of an impulsiveness about the week too. I think you could be sort of feeling like, oh, I must do this. Give yourself time to breathe is what I want to say here. I do want to say, I do feel like things are going to move in the right direction. Yes, it does feel like if you can actually take action and have that sense of hope about what you want to do, it's important to look at what you're actually focusing on. That's super important here. It does come from your own experiences of the past. I think that's very important to know, but it's important that you're not impulsive as well. You don't do things without actually thinking about it. So what have we got? Okay, looking below the illusion, looking beyond the illusion, looking below the surface, actually having a look at things in a broader perspective, if you like, looking at things, being able to have that sense. I want to say choices. I know it's got unity here, but I do feel like it's very much about the choices that you're going to make. You've got this pause for a minute. You've got to pause, take a breath, and think about where you want to be. What's the result in regards to the boundaries, in regards to the choices about what you're focusing on, which is really important. You can acknowledge the things that are not so good, acknowledge those things, but don't dwell on them. Look at the things that you can change. I know there's some things, it's also about that freedom to be able to move forward. Now, it doesn't feel like there's, I think it's important to sort of slow down. I want to say this, to slow down and to think about what you're doing. There does feel like there's a lack of being grounded. I don't feel like there's any, I feel like you're all sort of up in the air. And the reason why we say up in the air and that, I just feel like the sense of, with the Knight of Wands, he feels very much like a hanged man, but the right way up. But I still feel like he's still not. He's moving so quickly that he hasn't grounded himself. So I do feel like there's a lack of being grounded, being earthed. There's a lack of earth, a lack of thought. So I do feel like it's very much in the heart. You're very much tied up into the heart this week. So I think it's important just to sort of take a breath, slow down a little bit, and look at where you are. I think with the Two of Wands and Three of Wands, it's that slowing down. It's that taking a breath for a second to make the choices that you need to do to where you want to be. Look at your achievements and where you want to go. What's your goal? Looking very much about your goal and where you want to do. But you do have to look below the surface, look at using your skills and your abilities to manifest what you truly want. But I do feel it's very important to look beyond the illusion. Look below the surface of what's actually going on. Maybe there's been a sleight of hand with someone, which is why you've got that needing to create the boundaries, which is really important. Make sure you stay protected. And I think a lot of it could be to do with this con man or with someone who's not quite trustworthy. I do think you need to be very, very careful about that. You do have that sense of rushing around. So I do think you need to sort of slow down a little bit and take a bit of a breath. So interesting reading when we're looking at these cards overall. Okay, so that's for your week ahead. So take a minute, take a breath. Create some boundaries. Say no. And with the rule of 3, let's grab the card. With the sense of making sure you've got all the information you need to be able to make the informed choice. Again, you get that with the 5 of Cups. with, you know, what are you focusing on? What information do you have that you're focusing on? Which cups are you focusing on? So interesting there. Okay, so that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care. Blessed be.